Welcome to the show on this fine Tuesday afternoon, evening here in sunny southern Marbella, Spain, to where I'm tuning in from. It's so good to be back, everyone, on our daily lives. We're doing 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, so hopefully everybody can start to fill in at that hour. And guys, I know this sounds contrarian, it sounds like weird, but I'm actually very bullish on all the things that have happened, and after all the research that I've done on previous cycles, on what usually actually drives these market cycles, I'm really excited to bring this show to you today. Now, I will have a recorded YouTube coming out tomorrow with sort of more of the details on the timeline, but today we are going to be going over with our top analyst, one of the top crypto traders in the whole Web3 space, okay, Rob. He'll be joining us on these lives Monday through Friday to walk us through the charts, show us his banger setups that are ready to pop, and most importantly today, we're going to have a look at when market cycles typically top, what the indicators look like, where we're at in this market cycle, and where we could potentially expect to see that top. So if you're watching this, obviously, I don't believe the top is in. I mean, and I'm going to stick to that conviction until otherwise, until proven otherwise, until the data says something else, until the price action says something else. So we'll be going over that more today. But technically, as long as we're not closing a weekly below 107,000 on Bitcoin, which is the previous higher low, so far so good. And also we could potentially wick into the 90,000s in the mid 90s and still be bullish on higher time frames. So we'll go over that with Rob today in the analysis. But guys, I'm feeling bullish because it seems that there's something happening. There's sort of a shift going on where, the tariffs are creating all of this noise and all of this uncertainty in the market. It's almost as if it's like, hey, look left. We're going to do an entire leverage reset. We're going to wipe the market out. We're going to create panic and fear in everyone. And meanwhile, I'm going to repeat this. Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, bought the dip for $5 billion worth of Bitcoin at 105,000. I mean, these guys are not going to buy with the expectation that maybe Bitcoin goes up a little bit. I'm thinking like, there's got to be some multiples here. They've got to have a strong conviction based on where we're at in the macroeconomic cycle. And then nobody can know the future. And there's no certainty in anything. But as of right now, the facts that I have and the information that have been given, all signs to me point to there's still a lot of gas left in the tank. And that brings me to actually another observation by Raoul Pal, esteemed macroeconomic investor, who says, actually, everybody's talking about the 4-year cycle and whether or not we are in a super cycle of sorts and things are changing. And is this like going to be a longer cycle? And he actually says, no, the core driver of these cycles is liquidity. And we're actually off on that timing because of COVID. So because of all of the debasement that happened during COVID and all the money printing and all of that our timing is just off and the rates have been higher for longer, therefore making the cycle timing different. But the global liquidity has never been more bullish, and it's far from peaked. In fact, it shows that it's going to peak into mid to late 2026. So that being the case, I mean, here, I'm going to share this with you guys now. He talks about how for a lot of people, this cycle has been lackluster. Right? It's really been sort of lacking in any sort of excitement, other than that run that we had in altcoins that sort of died off and we've been consolidating down to the right ever since. Right? He says, it's because 2025 is not the year of big debt rollover. Thank you, COVID, for allowing average maturity to be lengthened by a year as rates hit zero. So this is the whole thread that I go through in my YouTube for tomorrow. But this theory actually says, no, we're just following liquidity, which is the main driver of all cycles. And we're catching up. We're lagging because of this factor. So I thought that was interesting. And meanwhile, you've got Trump fighting with China, and China saying that they're going to go hard and that they're not going to accept unfavorable terms, and all this playing out while you have BlackRock, $13.4 trillion BlackRock CEO, Larry Fink, saying Bitcoin and crypto markets are set to expand rapidly. Well, he's buying the dip. Tom Lee's buying the dip. Everybody's buying the dip, all the big money, all the smart money. And yet, there's so much fear and panic in the market. So today, my main goal is to help everyone navigate this cycle and understand where we're at in order to capitalize it on this as best possible, right? And to have a strategy for it. So without further ado, I'm going to invite Rob up to the stage to walk us through where we might be on the macro scale, as well as look at some banger altcoin setups that might be ready to pop soon if conditions allow. So let me bring Rob up to the stage now. Rob, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing today?
Good, good. It's just been interesting to see that Bitcoin so far has been holding up okay.
I mean,
So
it's pulling back a little bit today, which we also expected a little bit from yesterday. Like we said, it was either going to break above the 9 that we talked about, or it's going to come back down to support. I mean, in shorter time frames, there's always ups and downs, and you just got to be prepared for whichever happens and be ready
right,
for it first. Yesterday, I actually missed my shorts last night because I went to bed. But that W setup that I did say that you had a rising wedge, I actually did do a little bit of a trade on that one. I got 60%. But
60%. So if
yeah,
they would have listened to you on yesterday's live stream, they would have been able to make 60% on that short trade.
7x leverage, yeah. But but anyway, it wasn't really that big of a trade. It was just kind of like one of those ones like, I said I was going to play it. So I played it, went to bed, and came up in profits and closed it. But so it's just one of those things. We're just waiting for just in the mid time frames. I would say like 4 hour to 1 day. We're looking to confirm supports. Like we got to come back down and back test things and to see if they hold or not. And that's really the big question. Are they going to hold right now? Are we going lower? Are we going higher? And
Right.
go ahead and just jump into a chart and look at the weekly time frame and kind of zoom out a little bit to see what I think.
Right.
So this is a Bitcoin on log scale on the one time frame. And what I have is the good old legendary Stosh RSI. And I like using the Stosh RSI in the one 1 week time frame or higher time frames because it doesn't give you as many fake outs. And what a lot of people don't realize is the moves, whenever it makes a move on it, it usually will foreshadow the move that's coming. So whenever Stosh RSI is going up, it usually moves up before the price action moves up. So it's kind of a precursor to what may come next. And that's what I really like about it. And it's also a momentum indicator. So this is a very strong momentum indicator showing you what way momentum's in. Now, I have some lines placed on here just to show some history on it from different bull markets, different cycles in the past. And of course, now it's going to jump back and forth on me. And the reason we do this in log scale is so you can just see more on the chart and kind of get more of a better idea and better picture of it. Now you kind of see this is like the one most important one back in 2016 in February, which I kind of want to point out right here. We came all the way down here. When we bottomed out down in here, the price action was already all the way down. It didn't go down any further, really. It just kind of stayed right down in there. And once two lines go above 20, that's actually whenever you get so your bullish crossover is usually down a little bit further over, but it's not confirmed. And that's what a lot of people don't understand is how to confirm the bullish Stosh RSI crossover. It's not when it crosses over down in here. It's actually when it starts getting up above 20 levels. You want both of those lines to get up 20 levels. And then once the bullish momentum's come in, it's usually above when it's above 50. So once you get that above that 50, so RSI, people say that's oversold, overbought. It's actually not what that stands for. It stands for relative strength index. So once it starts going up over 50, that means there's bullish momentum. It's got strength. People say they would like to buy strength. Well, what is strength? It's whenever RSI or Stosh RSI is going up over 50, that's telling you that strength is coming in the market. That's whenever you're buying strength. But people like to buy it when it's going down and they think it's oversold and they usually go, why does it keep dipping afterwards? No, when it's pointing up, it means the dip's over. It means the strength's coming in. And as you can see right here, it kind of went up here. Sometimes there's a little bit fake out right here, which the reason I point to this level right here, because it looks like where we are at right now, which I'm going to go all the way where we're at. So I placed that line right there. We've got rejected right there. And some people are like, oh, no, it's a bearish cross. No, we're still bullish because we're above 20. Now we go back underneath 20, then the story changes. But since we're above it, we can sit there and kind of play around, play a little bit of dance and get back up there. But once we start getting up above there, that's going to be giving us the strong signal that the bullish momentum is coming in, and typically the price action is going to follow. As you can see down here, you look right there. Every basically time that happened on this one right here, so you're looking right here, that happened as well too. Kind of play a little bit of dancing queen. The local lows kind of basically got in. And once it got above 50, which I'm going to move this line all the way over to here. I think I moved it. Once we get above 50, which is right at this level here, that's when prices start to take off, whenever this was getting up here. So we are looking to get that strength in here and get that bullish momentum. So that's just something where I'm looking for. Now, market cycle top or next
but
local.
Let's go back for a minute on that one that you showed previously. It sort of had a similar, not fake out, but it hung around in that area before going up above the 50 level. that could potentially be something that we're doing right now,
Yep,
right?
that's
We could potentially be witnessing a move like this.
yeah, coming up into here, coming back down, retest that 20 level, then kind of come back up. So maybe like a red 2 weeks or something like that. Whatever. That's 2 weeks out of our time, and then
Can you
boom.
guys handle 2 more red weeks? I mean, it's only been months and years. I think we could be a little bit more patient just for this to play out. And you're right, this is such a powerful signal. This is the stochastic RSI on the weekly, and we're looking for powerful signals like this to keep it simple. And this is what I love about Rob's trading strategies, and why he makes it so easy for the average person to get in and do very well in this market, right? You take all of the noise out, the guesswork out, and you just have these sort of key indicators to watch. Right. So if we fast forward to where we are today, we're above the 20 level. That's for sure. And we're just waiting to confirm momentum then above that 50 level. Is that correct, Rob?
Basically, yes. I mean, the 30 and 50 level is kind of what I'm looking for. And I want those arrows to be pointing straight up. And then I can sit there and say, I'll be more confident. But right now, it's like, all right, we might get that little bit of pullback, might get that little more of just a little more red in the market. But I mean, in my opinion, that liquidation from last week, like, you're not going to get more red than that. You're not going to feel no more pain than that.
Right. Right. I just want to take a second to shout out Steven. What's up? Our partner in crime here at the Hive. Good to have you on. Miss you too, Watchman, man. We used to have like the best vibes going on. So I'm excited to get those back. And thanks for tuning in. And then we have Andrew. What's up, Andrew? How you doing? And Harshith. I think that's how you pronounce your name. We're getting a lot of questions about this, right? Like, and this is what I talked about in the intro. And I'm going to go back to this for a second. We'll come back to that chart, Rob. But it's basically like Raoul Pal was saying that I really like this theory because he says the cycle has felt lackluster for a lot of us so far. And I think it's because a lot of people hold altcoins and not Bitcoin, right? And so Bitcoin has been doing great, but altcoins really have not had their day in the sun like they have in previous cycles. And he's saying that's because our timing has been shifted. And this is all based on liquidity. So that he believes we're still going there, but that we have to catch up to that global liquidity, which is set to peak in mid 2026. So maybe it's not even a super cycle. It's the same sort of cycle, but the timing is off because of the COVID debt that made it roll over a little bit longer than it should have. So I think that's a really interesting theory. And, Rob said this on the stream yesterday. He said, if Bitcoin can confirm bullish again, then that'll be confirmation of your altcoin season, right? This all hinges upon is Bitcoin going to remain bullish on the higher time frames? Are we going to potentially see those 2 weeks of red and then skyrocket up and to the right, and by the end of the year be booming? I don't know. I think there's a lot of likelihood as of right now. Price action will dictate it, but if macro tailwinds have anything to do with it, in the macroeconomic business cycle that we're in, that's super bullish, then those metrics to me tell me that we should be getting that altcoin season. Granted, Bitcoin continues to go up from here. What would you say about that, Rob?
I mean, I can definitely agree with that one. I mean, but always just make sure you manage your risk. There's always dips and there's always places to buy dips. And also just have your strategy and just risk management plan in place. And if you're a trader, it shouldn't really matter to you which way it goes, because in shorter term frames, it's always going to go up and down, and you're gonna take advantage of the smaller time frames. And larger time frames, if you're holding for the longer term, I mean, I would rather be, whenever this is down in this area, I would rather be buying, and if it's up in this area, I would rather be selling. And that's a really simple way of looking at it.
Yeah. And I like how you simplify it, because guys, you can get so lost in all the stuff that's on YouTube, all the contradictory messages. And I see that you're saying here about Benjamin Cowan, Harshith. And if I'm not mistaken, Benjamin Cowan also said that ETH was going to go to max out, I think 5,100 or something like that, or that's where it's headed. I mean, I just point blank don't believe that Tom Lee is going in and buying 400 million worth of Ethereum. I just don't believe that all of this is happening with the expectation that we're already topped out for this cycle. Obviously, nobody can predict the future, but it feels sort of like all this noise is sort of scattering people's thoughts when it's exactly what Rob says. I mean, market cycles usually don't take when alts are on the bottom, or don't top when alts are on the bottom, and when no top indicators are in sight. I mean, I just think you guys just need to tune out the noise. So for me, my long-term holds, right? Like I'm a very long-term minded investor. So, if on the high conviction alts that I hold, I'm willing to hold those for a longer period of time. That's not my trading portfolio now. This is my long-term holds, right? And so like Rob says, these kind of dips for me are for buying. And I did double down. I went in because I believe that this is an excellent time to buy right now. But that being said, you do have to mitigate your risk. And I think a great strategy is to have a separate altcoin trading portfolio where regardless of the conditions, you can take advantage of this. Rob literally did a 60% yesterday on the setup that we gave you here on this YouTube, guys, here on this YouTube for free. And you can also access these setups for free in the Hive Discord right now. The link is in the description below. There is no excuse not to go there. We're going to have a party all altcoin season long, okay? And there's just no excuse. Like right now is the time to hone in. And I think the real fear comes from if you're over leveraged or if you're underwater and you want to or need to sell quickly, right? So all that comes down to you must have a strategy during this season. But that being said, I don't believe we've topped yet. That's just my personal conviction based on the stats that I have, subject to change if Bitcoin does something different. But right now, I feel like this is an excellent time to buy. So sorry if that was a long-winded answer, Harshith, but try to tune out the noise and try to just focus on, like during the scary times is usually when it's the best times in the fear. And people are, it's just like human nature, right? And people are so confident and in greed when they're greedy. And that's the times that we should be fearful. So what's up, Richard Stokes? Nice to see you here. Sorry for that rant, guys, but I'm just really passionate about this. And I don't want you to get shaken out if that's not what's happening here, right? So let's just take this play by play. We're going to be here for you every day of the week, Monday through Friday. And that's a real treat. So do sign up to that. Also, I'm going to tease this a little bit now before Rob gets into the rest of the charts. We will be revealing a 10x gains altcoin crypto bull market strategy that Rob has sort of started to develop here. And if you sign up to the BYDFi link below for the exchange, it's no KYC required. You will be on the wait list to get access to that for free if you make a deposit. And there's massive deposit bonuses now. So that's something that we're going to take you through as well. And if you're down on your luck and you're feeling like you're underwater after the other day's liquidation event, you can always make it back. And it starts right now, right here with just a small amount of money. Just get your feet wet. Just start to practice, right? And that's all I'll preach right now. Rob, we'll send it back to you, but that's my thoughts on, getting worried about altcoin season and taking in too much information that you sort of get lost in the noise.
Yeah, 100%. Don't get lost in the noise. Get lost in the charts when the charts are telling you. Practicing, like she said, I think that's a perfect thing. I started with, whenever I started doing leverage trading, I practiced with $10 until I got good at it. And then once I got good at it, I took off with it. So it doesn't mean you have to practice a bunch of money, practice a little bit of money. I don't like doing the demo accounts. I liked knowing how it felt to put real money in and knowing what it felt like, how the real exchange liquidity was. So I practiced $10, and once I got good at that, I practiced $100. And then once I got good at that, I started putting more and more capital. And one thing that I've been kind of reading about online is everybody's sitting there saying like something like this pullback might have been just from over leveraged positions. And if people are leveraging to do longer term holds, that makes no sense to me in cryptocurrency. I think leverage is more for day trading, swing traders, and scalpers. Outside of that, long-term holds, I think leverage is dangerous no matter how low your leverage is. I think because it just wipes people out no matter what. You don't own it. You're buying a contract. You're not buying it yourself.
You're so right about that, though, because a lot of the problems here were that people had long-term holds leverage. And I think that's just a little bit of greed, actually, because it's kind of like, okay, well, we're in a bull market. I'll slap a little bit of leverage on my long-term hold because there's no way we're going down from here, at least not in a drastic way. And you just can't predict it. We have 50% pullbacks. We've had 50% pullbacks in bull markets, 30 to 50%. I mean, so it's really, I think it comes down to greed. I don't think that those long-term holds should be leveraged at all. They should put in cold storage. Don't touch it. Let them sit there until your buy orders are triggered, or your sell orders. Sorry, like you set those amounts, set percentages that you're going to sell on the way up, guys. But there's no reason to leverage and on cross margin, right? So that means that your whole portfolio is at risk. If that position goes down, then you could potentially wipe out your whole portfolio. And some of these traders did. They wiped out their whole net worth in this, and that's never worth it. That's never worth it. And you can do amazingly, exceptionally well trading with these setups that Rob. So imagine you started with that $10. You got that 60%, right? And then you double that. The power of compounding is real, and it happens fast if you start to get good at these trades. With Rob's guidance, you most certainly can. So yeah. And by the way, Richard, it's good to have you here. Is that what they refer to as the A team? It's Watchman and Andrew and all them. I remember you guys from our streams before.
I have to step away just for a moment to get my kids off the bus, but I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going on my rant anyway. So yeah, I remember you guys from the A team. And I think that's when we started, having these, the parties together. And I miss those parties, you guys, like straight up. okay, we left at a time, maybe when it was opportune to leave. I had some internal structuring to do. We launched the Hive, which is a new Discord where we're going to feature the top traders in the world. That's our goal, and let you guys have open access to it so that we can all do well. And, you know, all we ask is you show up here, you support, you smash the like, you share, and let's spread this knowledge and this good vibe, right? Because I want people to win. And I want to be able to like provide that for you. Yes, A team. So we're going to have to come up with a new thing for this channel. And also we want to go and watch your guys' A team streams as well, support each other. This could be like the Hive team, the Hive. But let me know, how are you guys feeling? Like, were any of you guys really affected by this last liquidation, or are you more or less long-term holders? Like, tell me what your strategies are and what you're feeling and what your thoughts are. But Harshith, I just want to go back to this. Like, you know, there's a lot of doom and gloom out there, and generally like just common sense and just thinking about human emotions. These are some of the best times to buy, especially if we're still in a bull market, confirmed by price at the moment, right? And have a strategy for if we're going to have I also think that if we do get a quote unquote bear market now, that it potentially won't be what we've seen in the past, that it could be maybe that 6-month consolidation down into the right that we saw earlier this year, and then up like a staircase up, right? Like Bitcoin's been acting more like a stock or like equities lately rather than, you know, what it used to be. It's maturing as an asset class. We all know this. So there's so many possibilities, but, you know, I am so bullish right now. And I just feel like I said this on my YouTube. I said, if Bitcoin goes down to the low 100,000s, which there is a small possibility that it could, I didn't know we'd rip the Band-Aid off and go straight down there. But if it does go down there, what are you going to do? And I'm telling you, I held my breath and I bought. You know, it was scary. It felt like, is this the right thing to do? But that's what I did. Right. So Rob's back here. I just finished my preach here.
Did you buy that big liquidation dip on Friday?
I did. I held my breath. What did we used to call those? Buy the dips that scare you?
Buy the dips that make you sick.
That's it. That's what it is. All you guys that used to be in this crew from a while back, you will have heard that, and it'll sound familiar to you. And I feel I have to practice what I preach, and that's just what I did. So
I got it live with a bunch of other people, and I was actually excited because I had shorts open and I was closing my shorts. I'm like, I'm taking my shorts and buying the dip now. So I was actually really excited.
That's another thing that I think could be a good strategy is with some of your profits from these banger setups that Rob is posting. And I'm telling you, if you just tuned in yesterday, you would have made a 60% on that W setup. Okay. Up to 60% depending on leverage. So with those profits, you can roll some of that into your long-term holds instead of rolling it all into the next trade. Right. And pay yourself. Always remember to pay yourself. But on that note,
my big thing is always buying your significant other something special as well too. Because if you're spending time trading, you're taking time from them. Buy them something as well too. That's what.
Yep.
That's what makes my wife allow me to trade.
Happy wife, happy life. That's right. That's right. Yep. You got to give back. I like that. So Richard says he's a long-term holder mostly. A team just found a great project, XCELLAR. Yeah, you guys have been talking about that one. Maybe we'll have a look at that on the end of the stream here when we do the altcoin analysis. But yeah, we're all about that. I can't wait to unveil a little bit more about Rob's 10x gain strategy because we were talking about it last night, and it's honestly, it's fire. It's really cool. So we're still, going to confirm that, but all you have to do is sign up to the BYDFi link in the description. You support the channel, you support Rob's efforts and all of our efforts, and you get a massive deposit bonus. Okay, so that's it. And Rob, take it away.
All right, so since you were talking about the global liquidity, this is actually the bottom one here is the global liquidity right here. So we actually just got rejected off the 2.618 Fibonacci retracement, and it looks like we're bull flagging basic. I haven't put lines on it, but it looks like we're bull flagging on it. So we could be making another leg up. And sometimes we actually, if we keep on coming down lower, that doesn't make me bearish on it. Because if you see these lines marked on here, a lot of times whenever we got rejected, we actually had a pump in Bitcoin. So like right here, we actually got rejected here, came down, and Bitcoin broke out. So sometimes they kind of move inverse in a way. I think it's like money like flowing out of global liquidity into this markets or something. So that's just something I've been kind of watching. But once we but this is a bull flag, and this could definitely break up higher and break that next Fibonacci level. So
right.
Look at whenever you get rejected from a level like that, a level of interest, and you flag underneath it, that's typically just gaining up power to break through that level. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it.
Right. I think that's interesting too. Like you're not seeing just a flat out rejection and a dump. When you see a flag like that around resistance, it generally signals more strength than anything else, right?
Yep, that's right here what I'm basically looking at. this flag now. So
Yeah.
we'll see where that
And
goes.
Bitcoin lags global liquidity, right? By like, I don't know, was it 60 days, 90 days?
There's a bunch of theories out there. I was just trying to see if they move together or not. So I have these lines marked on here. I haven't really figured out anything personally myself. I remember somebody like tried changing certain things, and me, whenever I do that type of stuff, I think it's trying too hard to find something to make the chart say what you want to say, and I don't ever want to do that. So I really don't know that one. I'm very big on let the chart talk to you. Don't force it to say something, because if you're forcing it, then you're just not reading it.
I like it. You bring us all back to reality and ground us a little bit with the simplicity of it. We don't need to complicate this. You just read what you see in the chart. See, I'm very concerned with the fundamentals as well. I'm very much up on like what founders are doing and things like that. So Graham, what's up? Sorry, I had to shout you out because I love when I see you on the stream. I love when I see the OGs on the stream. And we all do need some good news. So some of the good news is it seems that global liquidity, M2 liquidity, is flagging potentially, which is a potentially bullish thing. We've got the stochastic RSI on the weekly building up momentum, yet to confirm that strong move above the 50, but we are above the 20. And that is typically signaled very, very big moves if it hasn't been a fake out, right? So, I mean, we're just on the brink, but I'm telling you, the statistics say that if you've had a green September, and this is just to ground myself in the facts, right? Now, these are just probabilities. They're not guarantees, but stats show that when green Septembers have happened in the last 6 in Bitcoin's history, we've had a massively explosive Q4 to the tune of 50 to 60% higher for Bitcoin, which would put Bitcoin at 170,000. So that's what's on the table right now. And I'll let Rob ground us back now again with the charts.
I mean, they say buy the fear. This bottom indicator on here is one of my personal fear indicators. So this is fear in green. Red is the fear, and we're basically getting into max fear down in here. So one more level down. But also, I'm looking. I had this trend line drawn here. We closed on it on one day, went underneath it, then bear trap. So, and we're retesting it again. So we're retesting to confirm a bear trap right here on this trend line right here. So that's a very good thing. I didn't get my green. We're in the green. We're in the buy area on this on my reversal here, but we don't got the green just yet. That's usually a very good buy signal. And then this is my these aren't available on TradingView. These are my personal ones, but these are institutional smart money positions. And typically when they go up to this area here, that means they're buying long. When they're down here, where they're buying short. So right now, all those are looking good. And then the blue line is actually not the 9, because I always look at the 9 too much. So this one here is actually the SMA 20, which is a support one. So if we get this test right here and we break above that that's going to be more confirmation. I guess we got to break above 116,000 to sit there claim like, oh, bear trap's definitely in. We're going. So that's what that charts.
So there's some more bullish news. A potential bear trap yet to be. I mean, it's technically confirmed, but it could be invalidated, right?
Yeah, it's confirming right now. Candles. I mean, if it closes right here, that's a confirmation. So that's good.
Right, let's go, Graham. Technically more bullish news.
Yes,
we're almost in peak fear. I love this indicator here about smart money. I think that's really interesting. It's just adding to the confluence of what's about to happen and what has happened. I like that a lot. So we have a few comments here. Claire says 4-year cycle, now a 5 to 6 year cycle. I just went over this earlier in the stream, and I don't know, it's yet to be confirmed. If we did have a traditional 4-year cycle, I mean, the top would be in at any moment now. And I just don't think that's what's happening. And you'll see now as we go over more market cycle top indicators that they're nowhere near that. So I really like Raoul Pal's theory about global liquidity, and that, we're just lagging in that because the rates have been higher for longer. The Fed just started to cut rates, and we're about a year behind in the rollover from the COVID days. So maybe it's still the same cycle driven by liquidity, but we're just off on the timing, and we could peak in mid to late 2026. That's the theory I'm looking at right now, Claire. So that's sort of what I think lines up the best, but obviously we'll be reporting on that every day and we'll keep you posted. So that's what it looks like as of right now. And Rob, this one's for you. Is Rob from Pittsburgh? Sounds like a Yinser. I don't even know what that is. What is he talking about?
Somebody nailed me. Yup, they know him from Pittsburgh.
All right. Okay. I'm from California, so I'm not up with the lingo on the East Coast there. But Rob is from Pittsburgh, and he's a real one, guys. He is a real one. Like he is a G. Like Rob is really good at what he does. And I think it's just such a treat that we get to have him on the channel guiding us through us like this. So yeah, if you like that, just show us some love and smash a like and let us know where you're tuning in from. And if you're from Pittsburgh, if you know that team captain, sounds like you're from Pittsburgh too, right? Or around the area. I'm just saying. And Watchman, thanks
wearing my
so much.
Steelers clothes here. I was gonna wear my Steelers clothes on a Monday because Steelers won on Sunday. So
there you go. There you go. What's up? And Watchman, thank you so much for reposting. That's a lot of love. We much appreciated. So yeah, let's continue then and see where we're at, and hopefully, more interesting stats for Graham there. Yeah.
All right, so what I'm looking at now is Bitcoin dominance and ETH versus Bitcoin. So ETH versus Bitcoin, we're actually basically just kind of we haven't come back down and really did retest this trend line. I made this chart probably months ago. I don't really like changing my charts very much. To make it, I'd like to see how they're playing out the levels. Sometimes I'll sit there and look at different levels, but we're basically bearish retesting this box here. I would put on a wick right now, if I put this on a candle chart, we would have wicked all the way up to this trend line. And then we're bullishly still retesting. It looks like this is curving right here. And this is a line graph, so it's called closed candles. So it looks like we're trying to curve right here on this support and this support area. So that's actually looking bullish for me on ETH versus Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance. So these kind of work hand to hand. So I like to have them in one chart to kind of see if they're telling the same story. And right now it looks like they are. So I think that's really good for alt, and we all want ETH to do good for alt to do well. So
right, for all you asking about that altcoin season, I mean, as long as this stays intact and we keep seeing confluence like this, it's definitely on the table. Definitely a possibility on the table. I mean, I'm saying that because I'm trying to be grounded in stats, but I fully believe, based on the fundamentals, that's where we're headed. For sure. So, I mean, obviously no for sure, but you guys know what I mean. I'm bullish. That's it. I'm bullish on these markets. Team captain says he grew up there. Okay. So he's a Pittsburgh native, now in Baltimore. I've heard Baltimore is beautiful, really beautiful. So I don't know. I've never been there, but I've heard that, Rob's area too. And Realize Bear, I'm telling you, every time you come on and say that, it makes me want to go grab a shot glass and cheers to you, because that's Viking language for cheers, guys. Skål. So what's up? It's good to have you guys back in the chat. We're just theorizing, if that's even a word. See, I'm all hyped up. It's like 10 o'clock at night and I'm in the zone, guys. We're just mapping out where we could be in this cycle and where we're headed. And it's really exciting because, we're grounded in the facts and the charts, right? And it's very calming to see when everybody else is panicking. Let's just look at the facts. Rob, if you could scoot that chart to the left so people, I think it's behind the comments.
yes,
just so we could see it. There we go. Yep.
I know you're talking about the Fed funds rate, so I was just kind of looking at my Fed funds chart right here, and we technically didn't really have a pivot just yet. So it looks like we're just stepping down slowly. And if it plays flatline for a little bit, and this chart shows you that if the Fed's funds sometimes just goes flatline, this is the stock market right here, and the stock market does really well, and Bitcoin typically follows the stock market. I have it down in here, so you can kind of see that as well too. We just want the yields to get right now. The yields are rate against the Fed funds, and their yields kind of work together. We want the yields to get rejected right here. We want this rising wedge to break down. This rising wedge breaks down, it's definitely going to be a good signal for high risk or risk on trading. So I watch this chart I look at it about every 2-3 weeks. So there's nothing really crazy going on with Fed funds or yield curve just right now. It's all just at levels. Do they break it or whatever happens? So that's something that I am also kind of watching on right now as well too. But as you can see, this chart just shows you that when we flatline, that just whenever you're flatlining and nothing's happening, that creates that takes out uncertainty and investors like that.
Right. Yeah. It just like the calmness in the markets, right? It's not chaotic. It's not volatile. It's just boring. And boring equals good. I don't care what anybody says. Boring is usually good in a bull market. We're consolidating. We're building up we're building on that foundation and getting ready for the next leg up. So thoughts on Fed rate cuts coming this month? Yeah. I mean, we're set to get, what are your thoughts, Rob?
As long as they cut them and the yields stay flat or yields go down, I think we're going to be good. I mean, if the yields start going up and they're cutting for that's usually a bearish signal if the yields are going up during that time. And we want that and we're at a major resistance on the yields. It's a rising wedge. And we want that just to basically break down. We don't want this situation right here. That's usually whenever something bad has happened or Like this situation right here was when COVID happened. You see that yield just went straight up. So I'm really watching to make sure this gets rejected here. We just don't want that yield to, that's COVID-19. We don't want that to happen. This was 2008, the market crash of 2008. So
this is a really good alpha, you guys. I mean, this is pretty cool. So we're going into it strong at resistance, the potential rising wedge, right? Ready to break down, maybe. So we're going in a good position into the next cut. Yeah, it's looking good. Graham's saying good time to DCA, buy the dip. Say I'm right there with you. I gotta practice what I preach. So I've been buying, and that's just what I'm doing. And all this confluence, there's so much confluence here. I really like these charts. I think it's interesting how you can like correlate these pieces together to give us a broader picture of what's going on. So this is interesting.
Outside of that, I mean, I could go into some smaller time Bitcoins, or we could look at altcoins, whichever you like.
Yeah, let's have a look just where we're at in Bitcoin, key levels to watch, and then get into a few good altcoin setups.
Yep.
Can I have a soda?
Yep, go for it, bud.
There's some bad news. I can't find my soda switch.
We'll find it, buddy. My kids are home if you can't tell.
Hey, yeah, and that's what I love about actually. I think Rob is really relatable because he has a full-time job. He's got kids, he's got a family, and we're just trying to make this as simple as possible to help people win who have similar conditions, which I'm guessing is a lot of you out there, right? Like,
yeah, I don't sit behind all day. I can't.
Yeah, exactly. So I love it. So let's have a look at where Bitcoin's at. Key levels we've got to hold in order to maintain that bullish structure. How about that?
So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just start from scratch right here. This is from yesterday, basically. So I deleted my chart before we started so we can look at what we were looking at earlier. But we're just at that main support level that we said that we are looking for a double bottom. And look what it's looking like right now. So this was EMA. I actually switched my EMA for that high time frame chart. It was a 25. Let's go ahead and go into the 9 real quick. So higher time frames, sometimes I'll switch some things up when I go to high time frames.
Right. So,
but anyway, right here, we're looking, like yesterday we were saying, we were looking to either break out above the 1 day 9, which I'm going to go ahead and look at the 1 day 9. Let's see where that's at. It's right here, so we didn't get above it. You go to the 12-hour. We got we were trying to, but we couldn't get it quite close above it, and we barely retested the 200. Now we go into the 4-hour. We're down into this bullish, into all this support down here. So all this is support right here. Now we're bouncing off it again and potentially making it I honestly can't call this a double bottom because we're putting in a slightly higher low. So that's even more bullish in my opinion. And so now we're looking in to put a more of a higher low. And if we hold this level here and don't go lower here, we start breaking this 9. We get it. So, all right, you're guys gonna hear a term that it's gonna be, you guys are gonna think I'm crazy here. So there's a term that a lot of guys have been trading with me for a long time. I call them the golden slaps. Whenever you get a golden cross.
The golden slaps. How do you guys like that?
So it really messes up retail traders. But right here, you can see how we got the golden cross here, a little bit up, then it came down. Everybody got slapped. And then also it's the same as inverse. No, not right now, buddy. So we had the same as the inverse right here. Once we get that cross right here, it means most of the downsides basically going to be over in the 4-hour chart, and we're probably going to start going up. The crosses are lagging indicators most of the time. So I'm trying to see if I can find a death cross here.
So the golden slaps are when the death cross happens.
No, the golden slaps are when the golden cross happens and everybody gets slapped because they open long.
Okay. That's interesting. I like that. I like that. The inverse.
It's really inverse. It's a very lagging indicator. So you see where I put this line right here. You had a death cross right here. You can see that that legitimately marked the bottom. And right now we have an incoming. We haven't got the cross just yet, but we have the incoming right there.
So potentially a big move in the works if this all plays out and this all goes according to plan.
Yeah, I see it play out like this all the time, and it confuses new traders because they're like, "Oh, it's a death cross. Everything's gonna die now." It's like, no, it's basically played out.
Basically means we're close to bottoming potentially. Yeah. And the other stat about bullish about October after bullish September is that the high for the month generally comes in the very last days of the month. So we're talking 20, 29, 30, even Halloween, 31st. So that's just another interesting point of confluence. So yeah, this is interesting. So potentially building up for a big move. I like what you said about it being a higher low and not even a double bottom.
Yep. Yeah. So
Yeah, as
So
long as
basically,
Bitcoin behaves, it's looking pretty bullish right now.
yeah, it's looking like it's getting strength here. Like I'm gonna go ahead and look at the oscillators real quick, see if we see anything that's saying no on it. So I gotta make this a little bit smaller real quick. Pull this up. That one's a different one for a different type of thing. So I'm gonna close that one. I like Confluence. I'm a very big Confluence guy.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it looks like that if we sit there and just hold this level and start making this uptrend right here, it looks like we're trying to bring in strength. The RSI went above 40, so I like the RSI when it starts pointing up and going over 40, which it looks like we're trying to. Then once it gets up over 50, that's when we start getting our strength. Same with the Stosh RSI. MACD, we did get our bullish crossover. It looks like it might kind of roll over, sitting there. We don't know. It hasn't rolled over yet. Sometimes you'll sit there, you'll get that kind of rollover, and then it comes right back. So nothing's confirmed on a bearish mark on it. So we might be starting to get that. That might be our first higher low of a start of this 4-hour uptrend. And we just need a little bit more confirmation to get that. But once it starts going, it starts going.
So right now we've got a lot more bullish confluence than bearish.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So that's really interesting. So I think what we'll do now is get into some of the altcoins. If you guys are ready for that. So this was a setup that we talked about yesterday, Bat,
Yep.
and you said, right?
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday, how we got some pretty quick gains, hit TP2. Now it's back down and retesting the main support level. So right now is a good time to look for scaling in. Now, if it closes underneath this white line here, that's probably where you're probably going to want to leave because then it's a fake out. But you could look at all this volume right here on that breakout. Now it's coming back down and retest. And this is where sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. But we are getting it. And we're looking to sit there and see if we can take out all the rest of these take profits all the way up to here at least. And if it keeps going here, I mean, the thing is, I'm going to go ahead and delete my chart real quick. Nobody's going to call it out right now on X or anywhere because they're going to be buying right now. And you're going to be seeing people putting this line right here, and they're going to be calling it out up here. So that's whenever the
you guys are getting the alpha here on the channel before the influencers start talking about it once they've already pumped it up, basically, is what you're saying.
Yep. This is where they're going to sit there once it starts moving on this trend line, which is a legit thing. If it breaks this trend line and holds it, buy high and sell higher, and you're going to start hearing those type of things. I'm not really a buy high, sell higher type of guy. I'm a buy and accumulation, move stops up whenever it's higher.
That's what I'm talking about. You buy as low as you possibly can upon bullish confirmation, right? And so you're getting this setup now, guys, on this YouTube. This setup is in the Discord right now. So if you sign up to the Discord, it's open to everyone for a limited time. You can go in there, check this out, sign up to BYDFi, link in the description below, and get started trading. You get a massive sign-up bonus. So, this trade is actually there right now. And I mean, like now is the time to start learning how to do this. If you haven't learned how to do it, and to start adding these tools to your toolkit if you are a trader, because Rob is very good at what he does. And a lot of these setups are starting to play out big time. So this is really interesting to see.
Yep. So this one here, it's retesting that level. It's above the 9. So the SMA 9 usually follows the price action very well. So it's probably going to keep retesting until probably after next day or two close. And the SMA 9 is going to move up to this area. And once it gets moved up to this area, that's whenever I'm going to be moving my stop loss up. So I want the SMA 9 to get up through here, through the area it's retesting right now. And once it does, that's whenever my stops will go to profit or at least break even if you're getting in right now. So, and then after it gets way up in here, that's when you start looking to take profits or putting one thing that people don't know. You don't have to move your whole stop loss in profit. Say you could do partial stops. So you can also move partial stops up. So that way, if it does get pulled back and just wicks down, your whole position isn't out and you can sit there and hopefully get back in with some profits. And if not, you at least you still have 50% of your position or something. So say it gets up in here and you just move a small stop loss up of 50% of your position and it gets stopped out and goes down, then you have something to compound your gains. There's multiple ways to think about doing it. It just depends on how much time you have to watch the charts.
No, yeah, absolutely. And there's potentially a very easy way to do it, a more in-depth way to do it. But this is a strategy where everybody can win, regardless of how much time you have to babysit the charts, right? So we've got Hardship Theories really wanting us to do an ADA chart. So maybe we'll pull that one up next. I know there's a lot of ADA lovers in this group. So yeah, we'll get to that. And also, team captain, are you referring to the midnight token? If so, I just met with Fami, who is the CFO, sorry, in London, and I'm telling you, man, it's pretty bullish what they're doing, and we actually might integrate with them for ATH vodka. And I'm bullish on midnight long term. And Charles has invested a lot of his money into it, and I just believe that it's something that the space needs. And you've seen what happened to like Zcash, and people are starting to wake up and understand how important privacy is for scaling. So I'm long-term bullish on midnight. As for a time horizon, I'd just say, like, when altcoin season starts to bubble back up, that's when things are going to start getting their strength back, right? Otherwise, the flow of money goes to the large caps, the mid caps, the low caps, and then beyond. So we won't be seeing those setups pick up until the whole altcoin market picks up. So that being said, my stance on, this green Q4 that I expect to be coming. If the stats are any indication and all this bullish confluence, I think we could be seeing that altcoin season sooner rather than later. Watchman says BYDFi is a solid place to trade. I've never had an issue with them versus other places that have been crashing and had problems logging in. This is one of the reasons why I partnered with them. I really like that I'm in touch with the CMO every day. He's a really great guy. And I have direct access to them, and they are very responsive. And that, for me, builds a lot of trust. And that's super important when I'm putting my money somewhere to trade, right? So that's why we decided to do that. And BYDFi is supporting our initiative here, and we really appreciate that. So yeah, that's going to be a great place to trade. And we're hoping that you guys will all jump on board and start trading with us. Would love to hear your thoughts on PEAQ. Okay, we'll add that to the list, but let's start with Cardano here and see where we're at.
So Cardano, I did a line graph for a certain reason. So I went to the line graph because when you go to, let's go look at candles real quick. You can see that big wick down in there and all that type of stuff. And it just kind of looks it makes, right now, that liquidation event makes charts kind of look weird because they're trying to rebuild themselves. So actually, if you go to the line graphs, chart actually looks a lot more normal whenever you take all that noise, that liquidation noise out. Right. So basically kind of what I'm looking for. I mean, this is going to be a really simple one for anybody, I think. You can see that we're in basically this kind of we're going into the support right here. We lost this support right here. We're bearishly retested it. So what do I like to say? So this is what I would basically do. Very easy. You set alerts on this 1 day 9. Add alert once per bar close. Value. Let me find
on the daily time frame.
On the daily time frame, because you're gonna get fake outs on the smaller time frame. And we want crossing, not crossing. We want crossing up. So whenever this closes above the 1 day 9, you will get an alert. That will probably be a really good entry, just due to, when I look at it, the oscillators are basically, we have more room for the MACD to start curving up and everything like that. Stosh RSI is just, so same thing as Bitcoin that I just taught you guys. Stosh RSI is up over 20. We're starting to get that bullish momentum in yet. And once it starts getting up here, as of like this one right here, you look at it. So once it kind of got up here, that's whenever we started getting price raises, but we were still in that downtrend. But we started off in profit, and you could put your stop losses in profit within time without getting wrecked.
Right. So for those who are long-term investors, where could we potentially look for Cardano to make its next higher low if it hasn't already?
I would be looking for this bullish order block down here. It's at between 56 and 60 cents. I would set alerts down on there, and once you get a confirmation that we're holding that level, closes it. But if it wicks underneath that, that's okay. But if it keeps closing this area, it's sitting there trying to confirm support. You have all this support in this area and this area as well too, and it's pretty simple. I think that'd be a very good buy area. Then if it closes underneath it, then you just wait and see what it looks like when we get to this bottom trend line. Now, if it doesn't make it down there, this is where that alert I just set. That's where the trick is. So you have alerts all the way down here. If we make it all the way down there, you're going to know to go and look at your charts and sit at your computer. Because I'm not going to sit here and watch this chart. There's no way. That's going to take way too much time. Now you have alerts closed on the 1 day SMA 9. That 9 is going to keep following that price action down as it goes down. So say the token goes all the way back down to here or something like that, makes a double bottom. The SMA 9 is going to come all the way probably down to here, and then it's going to start closing up above it at a lower price than it is right now, and you're going to get an alert there. So either way, you have an alert, whether it goes down further or starts going up, and you're not going to miss that alert as long as you're paying My trick is make a separate email for alerts, so that way you have alerts only for your crypto alerts.
Right.
I had to do that.
Yeah, no, that's a good tip. And also, so this is like entry. A lot of people want to know, as Harshit just asked here in the chat, what kind of like levels could we look at if we wanted to get an idea of what Cardano could do this cycle, based on like fib extensions, or how would you map that out?
How would I map that out?
Mhm.
Whenever Bitcoin gets the bear signals that we're looking for, definitely can look at that. That would be a very good signal because everything follows Bitcoin. And then, I mean, from low to high, put Fibonacci levels on it. We want to break to 0.5. We'll make a giant type of cup that you could basically look at. I mean, now you start zooming out like that. I'm going to turn off this indicator because it's annoying me. All right. Then I'm going to go ahead and put on. I'm going to see if you remember this saying. Round the bottoms pay the bills, right?
Yeah, I remember that saying. I used to love that, and that is so true. Rounded bottoms pay the bills. We're bringing that back, guys. We're bringing it back. It is so true. Is it starting to be rounded bottom season?
No, but I could sit there and go like this, and so the technical is on a cup, right? So we can sit there and say this could start making a cup. What's on the right side of a cup? So if you go there and actually like read everything about cup and handles or just bullish cups, typically what you get on cups. Let me get my drawing tool out here. Is you get bull flags on the right side. So we basically kind of started one here. We kind of got one right here. These are large ones. So once this breaks out, comes up here, we'll be looking for the same type thing, another type of bull flag. And for that to keep happening, those are typically on rounded bottoms. You want them to be flagging the whole way up. And then once we get to that, this is where you learn. This is the only time that I'll sit there and say rising wedges like to break to the upside. You're going to get a rising wedge. This is a lot of predicting here, but this is what you typically see and what you're looking for building major support. So then once we get that rising wedge, we go all the way up there. That rising wedge breaks. A lot of people will probably be shorting up in here, saying it's a rising wedge, it's going to break down. And trust me, I've done that before and I've gotten wrecked. And what they have to do is close their shorts and go long to recover their short positions, aka a short squeeze.
Right.
A short squeeze, and that makes the price action go up, especially. So this would be a neckline breakout, breakout to the upside, and a huge. That's your fastest gains are going to be above this level right here, and that's where you can sit there and take your Fibonacci levels. I am going off candle closes, no wicks, which is always losing. That's losing my favorites to go off just candle closes. I think candle closes are extremely important in crypto. Right. So I have to look at more fibs. I don't have any more fib settings on here right now, but above this fib here, we can at least look for the measure move. TA, not me, not I say this. TA says if this does happen, we build a cup. We break it, whether it's a cup or handle, doesn't matter, because if we can get rejected, make a handle, whichever happens. TA says $5.78.
Right. Which does line up with a lot of the stuff that I looked at from Cardano. If we have like this huge blow off top peak anywhere from $6 to $10. So if that's the measured move, then that's just one other point of confluence, right? Toward like, this is where we could go if we get this bullish breakout for Cardano.
Yep. If we get the alt season, the bullish conduct, and you see this building up, like taking out like a crazy leverage trade rate, not a crazy leverage trade, but a leverage trade rate above here for fast gains, you could get like this. This is where this is the price action that everybody loves. That's where you get those big giant green candles. Like you're like, whoa, it just keeps going up, and that within like 1 month, it's like just this giant move, and then it's over.
Right. Exactly. Like all the biggest gains come at the very tail end of the cycle. So you got to be ready. You got to be ready for them. And that's when we have those double bottom pay the bills streams. And it's going to be really, really fun. But in order to get there, we have to put in the hard work right now when the fear is at its peak, when people don't show up to live streams because they're depressed or whatever it is. Now is the time where you're dialing in, guys. So excellent Cardano analysis. I do think that Cardano is going to be doing great this cycle. Also, we have midnight as a request. So I'm not sure if that's too new to even do TA on. Maybe we can start with PEAQ. What is the ticker, you guys? Is it MD midnight? I'm actually not too sure. MDNT? Maybe?
MDMT?
MDNT, like night. That's what I think it might be. I don't know. Maybe it's just night. Maybe I'm tripping. I'll check that right now. But in the meantime, let's do PEAQ. Actually, my friend Scott used to be heavily involved with PEAQ. I don't know if he still is, but everything he told me was really, really bullish about them and what they were building. A big one in the RWA space. So I know a lot of people ask. It's a PEAQ.
PEAQ?
Yeah. Let's have a look at PEAQ.
You have any idea where it was listed first, MEXC or
probably MEXC. Yeah.
MEXC. I like seeing further back price history sometimes. So.
Right. Wow, look at that.
Hang on a second. Let me look at this one real quick. All right, let's go with MEXC. Let's turn off the line chart. Go to candles. Once we close above that 9, I'm
a lot of charts look like this. Let's just face it. A lot of the charts look like this in crypto right now, especially if they're not, part of the top 10, right? So that's
this
the thing about
to me. I'm gonna call it a 10x move.
A 10x move. Boom. Okay. As soon as I saw it, I remembered your criteria for the 10x gains. And that's something that we're developing on this channel, guys. If you want to be a part of that, like sign up right now to BYDFi.
I can give it away. My TA is pointing to one thing right here.
Okay. So, okay. I mean,
yeah, it looks bullish to me. And there's a certain let me look at Zora real quick. If you guys can pick it up and see what I'm looking at, I'll give it away here. But
I don't know. No, we're not giving it away yet. We're gonna tease this.
We're not giving it away, but I'm going to show Zora real quick.
All right. So maybe you guys can start to pick up on. So Rob has developed sort of this special way that he can, read the TA on certain coins that have led to 10x moves in the past. So that's what we're talking about here, without giving too much away. But that's what we're sort of developing for, when those cup and handle, round and bottom, pay the bills type of seasons come in. And you're absolutely right. Who said this? Andrew, yeah, the time to buy is when people are calling crypto scam and crying about how much they lost. Absolutely. I mean, this is just human emotions, especially if we're in a bull market. Okay, so this is Zora.
This is Zora. So basically, when I was looking at our chart, it kind of looks like the same setup. It kind of had birth, came back down, and it's been going sideways. And we're just waiting for that break of the 1-day 9 and hold to start getting this up thing right here. And Zora was my last 10x move that I personally nailed, not by calling out. I actually played and put money on. I actually proved it to Megan as well too. Like a lot of my stuff, I don't sit there and just say I call them out. I actually play them. So
right, and you test it out, and this is something he's been testing for a while. So it does seem to have worked on some of them. Maybe PEAQ might play that out too. I don't know. It's too high of a market cap, maybe. But yeah. Okay. So all in all, PEAQ. We didn't actually get into market the TA on the PEAQ immediately, but just know that like long-term PEAQ could be very, very bullish, right? So where are we in the interim?
So on the interim, I'm just going to stick with my strategy right here. We're just looking to see if we can confirm that we're on bottom support right now, this area, which is right here. So we're retesting that. We actually doesn't really look like we pulled back very strongly on that thing. So that's really good. So people that had this, they didn't have stop losses. They weren't leverage trading it, I'm guessing.
That's an interesting takeaway there, because it didn't have one of those massive wicks or not as big as
not as big as tokens had. Yeah. Didn't go to zero like Adam.
Yeah.
So we're looking to see if we can confirm the support. If not, we can look for bottom support here. But we can sit there and see, we can start seeing some of the indicators starting to flip a little bit bullish, but they still have more time to kind of confirm. We're still underneath the 20 on the Stosh RSI. We're right at 40, so we need to hold that 40. So let's go in the RSI real quick. Sometimes patterns like to play out on RSI as well too. So we're basically in this falling channel right here on the RSI. We want to see maybe some bullish divergence or something, but we also want to see kind of this 40 level hold right now. Then if not, then we're going to get some bearish momentum and get down to that next level. But if this level kind of starts holding, you can sit there. I'm going to put a trend line right here. We'll find it, buddy. Don't you worry. So you can see how this level is a very, very important level, which on a lot of tokens it is the 40 level. See how it was resistance, support. And right now we're sitting there seeing if we can hold that as support. Now, when I go back down into that, of course, I have too many oscillators on. Oh, not too many for me, but sometimes having all these oscillators confuse people. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger though. And all I do is look for I look for confluence and oscillators. But you can see it when we confirm that as support down in this level here, we usually took off afterwards right here. You see, so
and that's the 40 level.
Yep, that's the 40 level
On the daily.
on the daily. I don't really go whenever I'm doing a live. I don't like going smaller than daily because anybody who watches afterwards, I want them to have a chance to get in as well too. If I show a 1 hour chart on a live like this, there ain't no way anybody's gonna get into it. So it's like, oh, I missed it. So this is giving people an opportunity to hopefully get in. But you can see how that Stosh is down there, went up, kind of gone up here, and it was always on this bottom support. Now we broke this level. Now we're retesting it. So we're trying to confirm this as a higher low, basically, to sit there and see if we can confirm this as support. And all of these kind of oscillators are matching up to when it was like down in here. So do we come up here and triple tap it or something like this, like 1, 2, 3 triple bottom break? Do we do something like that 1, 2, 3 triple bottom break? So looking like this could be our local low here. And how long does it stay our local? How long do we have to stay in this area and accumulate? I don't know. But we can sit there and say that it's looking strong in this area.
There you go, guys. That was a fantastic analysis on PEAQ and some really exciting alpha that you gave there in the beginning. We'll circle back to that when we officially get that ready for those of you who are on the wait list and you've signed up for BYDFi in the link in the description. We're getting to the hour, so we're going to do one last request, and that was XCL. Watchmen, maybe we can get the ban next time. XCL, only because all you A-team have been supporting our stream throughout, and you all seem to be bullish on this token, but I have to warn you, it's XCL. I have to warn you. Yeah. I have to warn you that Rob is going to give it to you like it is. So if it's bearish right now, he's going to tell you it's bearish. We're not going to feed you misinformation. So that's my my warning there. Oh, this is a super new token. Oh, this has been, how many days has this been out, you guys? I don't know. Not a lot to work with here.
All right. I mean, without having that much time on it here, I mean, this is actually the most simplest analysis I'll give you. Trend line, put an alert on it. Trend line, put an alert on it.
There you go.
If it breaks up, you got a long on it. And once it breaks up, take profits. You would just sit there, take some fib levels, move them down. Then you use your fib levels for price discovery. That's all you can do. Now, if it breaks down, hit Alt-I, inverse it. If you can leverage trade it, you can short it.
I love it. All scenarios covered here on this channel.
Or if you don't like shorting, you set alerts on these fib levels. Probably this fib level right here. And you look at 008 underneath a penny. Whatever one plays out. I don't know which one is. It's too new of a token to have a good guess on it, but right there as a new token, you can put an alert on it for a dip buy or a breakout buy. It's in the middle of a pattern. Let me put the 200 on it, actually. So let's see if the two. Yeah, I don't even have the. All right, so we rejected from the SMA 50 in the 1 hour time frame. We don't have enough time yet in this token yet to even make a 1 hour SMA 200. So with that being said, we're getting a squeeze right here. So we're right in the middle of the pattern. It means don't do anything. Just wait.
I like it. Sometimes that's the best advice.
Yep. If it comes down to this bottom trend line and you get like a bullish engulfing candle off it or a hammer candle, something like that, that can sit there and you break above like the 1 hour 9. And then afterwards, then you could put a entry in. But I wouldn't just blindly put a entry in. I would at least, so say that would be that price level right here. I would at least put a stop loss underneath this low right here of like 5-10% or something like that for spot. So that way, if it does break down, we do go underneath the penny, you have that capital, you get stopped out for a small loss, and you have that capital to buy a nice 30% dip from there.
There you go.
So that's the way I would play it. It'll be all alert based, and right now there's no play on it. It's just set alerts.
Precisely why you wait, and that's the best advice sometimes in trading. Sit on the sidelines until you get confirmation one way or the other. And guys, we are at the hour now, and you got some incredible alpha during the stream. So if you like that, please share this with your friends, like it, and subscribe. And we're trying to bring this to you every single day, Monday through Friday, during this time when it's so important to stay dialed in. So do join us in the Discord. Link is in the description below. And thank you guys all for joining. We'll be here at the same time tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. EST. And that's it. Rob, any last thoughts?
Set alerts. Be patient. Wait for confirmation on entries. Risk manage your risk. Be ready for anything that happens.
Let's do it. Let's do it. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And thanks so much for tuning in.